Thanks for checking out this film review from the Dead Man's Party podcast. You could find our full archive of every unedited show if you subscribe to The Skeleton Crew on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Be sure to support Dead Man's Party on Patreon. Link in the description. Enjoy the review. Dead Man's Party is back. Guys, I gotta get jamming. My name is Al, and I'm with the guy who knows how to fix an earring with a pencil eraser because he's a little tulip. Chris. What's up, Chris?
Right, and I'm Cindy Lauper.
Oh, my wife did that. She's like, Lauper.
Dude, you have no fucking clue how many times that line was quoted by me and my friends in the mid-90s. We used to say that all the time. Anytime someone would say something that was ridiculous, like, oh, I just, did blah, 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 we'd be like, yeah, right, and I'm Cindy Lauper.
That's great. And we're also with the guy who just got a jock strap shot into his face in the boys' locker room, the Ghoul.
I'm picking up Curious Life readings. Seems to be some sort of carbon-based douchebag.
that would be Alex. Chris. Oh, wow, we both did it. That's great. That would be Chris.
That would be Alex.
Yes. This is just one of the guys, 1985. What a magical year in movies. Director Lisa, here we go. Gottlieb. Writers Dennis Feldman and Jeff Franklin. Starring Joyce Heiser as Terry Griffith. Clayton Ronner as Rick Morehouse. Billy Jane as Buddy Griffith. And his name used to be Billy Jacob. And he changed his name, I guess. Tony Hudson as Denise. William Zabka as Greg Tolan.
Who's that?
The blonde, annoying guy.
Didn't do anything else with his career, probably.
Nah, nothing. He probably couldn't get hired today for anything. And Lee, it's a guy, Lee McCloskey as the 30-year-old who's dating the high school girl, Kevin.
Yeah. Lee can be a boy's name, Alex, because if you remember from the hit movie Halloween 2, Sheriff Lee Brackett makes an appearance.
I thought it was Aid Lee Brackett.
Nope, just Lee Brackett.
Oh, you just wanted to mention... How could I not realize
I told Chris I'd find something.
And I'm sitting here answering. I'm like, it's a real thing.
That was the best I could do.
Oh, boy. These two. Yeah, guys, I want you to think about Halloween 2 every week. So, just one of the guys. This is... I don't know anymore if we're appropriately saying cult classics or not. I feel like this isn't up there with Breakfast Club, 16 Candles. This is a cult classic, right?
Yeah, well, okay, so I was 9 years old when this came out, but by the time I actually saw it was probably like 91 when I was 15, so when I was like a sophomore in high school. And between like 91 and 96, it was on cable all the fucking time. So all of my friends would watch it over and over and over. So it became a thing for us in the early and mid 90s. So I guess you could call that a cult classic, but I really can't speak to if it was like a thing when it came out. I don't know.
Yeah, because like I said, like this one I'd only seen clips of, mostly because the whole William Zabka bit of it. Once I got more into Karate Kid and Cobra Kai and stuff, I was like, again, like I texted in the chat, I was like, he's got to have like a row of movies that he was in after this where he just plays that character for whatever. So this came up and that's the so I was saying, I saw this was but the closest thing to it, kind of.
This is known as the William Zabka trilogy, Bully Trilogy. It's obviously Karate Kid, Just One of the Guys, and Back to School.
Right.
Yep. And Back to School, he's hardly a bully. He's just kind of a jerk.
He's just an asshole. Yeah, he's not a bully.
That's the thing. He's kind of the same thing in this movie because I didn't realize it. Like he's like
what?
Oh no, well no, he is, but like no, there's like a solid like 40 some odd minute stretch where he's just not in the movie at all. Or at least it feels
right. He's not,
way.
but when he's in it, he's a total bully.
Yeah,
What kind of maniac walks around the lunchroom
with weightlifting gloves?
I was gonna say his glove. Yeah,
he has to put his gloves on and lifts tables to spill everybody's food at the table. Like, do you hate everyone besides your little clique that much?
Right.
That is insanity. Then the part where he lifts the chair so that people fall down on top of each other. It really is a mentally deranged lunatic.
Well, I mean, also, like, even when her first day at the school, he grabs her and he throws her into a fucking thorn bush.
Right? Like, dude, what do you think? And then he takes the kid by his pants and does shoulder lifts with him. Like, oh my God, this is like I've never seen before. He was a nicer guy in Karate Kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like that old argument. Daniel was actually the asshole in the Karate Kid.
Yeah, we should really hyper explore that aspect when we do that.
Oh,
movie.
we will.
Because I have no qualms. I'm not here to support Daniel. No offense.
So what about the opening shot of this movie? It shows her laying in her bed, no sheets on, lace panties, slowly panning up her body. She gets out of bed, walks through her double door, just like I picture Alex every morning, walking out his double doors in his bedroom, taking in nature, taking a deep breath, walking back inside to start his day.
With her heaving breasts. Yeah, Terry's hot.
She is, man.
Yeah, they play that song, Girls Got Something, Boys Ain't Got.
The typical, like, 80s music montage opening that it's like has something clearly directly related to the title of the movie.
Yeah, like it was written specifically for this movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And girls definitely have something boys ain't got, that's for sure. So their parents are gone for 2 weeks, which you don't even learn till like 30 minutes in. You just wonder why these two like have the run of the place. Yeah, that's what we finally figure out among all the weird phone calls where the guy just says, "Hey, scumbag, yeah, bite me," and all that. Mom says hi.
Yeah.
Like you don't even know what's really happening with these two. So Terry's just a normal girl in school writing this article, which is really weird because she's so passionate about this article. Like, oh, it's gotta win. Like, oh my God, this guy won and this guy won. Mine didn't win. And she's fighting with the teacher. And then when she finally when he says, she goes, "So you're telling me the nutritional content of our
school lunches
is not interesting?" I'm like, wait a minute, this is what you're fighting about? No, of course it's not. You could have written that like fucking Mark Twain and nobody would read it or want to care about it. Like, honey.
Well, that's what I think. Yeah, that's funny because, like I said, I'm like relatively new to this one. Is like when I read the plot, like the summary, like the basic, like what it's about, versus that, like what she actually wrote. Like she's bummed out because she wrote that article and lost. Of course you're gonna lose, boy or girl.
Right.
Who the fuck? Like, what kind of you're like trying to appeal to a mass audience? Who the fuck cares about that?
the nutritional content. And then he says, yeah, this later on with the other guy. Just because you're a dude, it doesn't mean you can't write with feelings. It's like, what feelings could you incorporate to the article about cafeteria lunches?
Right.
How about the topic you picked? You don't have to pick a topic like that just because you're a guy. You could have picked something with heart, a topic with heart, not the fucking way you write about lunch.
So it shows her and Buddy at the breakfast table during the opening montage, and he's reading a Playboy while she's eating breakfast. So right there, they're setting up that this guy is just a sex maniac.
I love it.
Every single scene in this movie that he's in is about sex.
Every single one.
Every single scene.
And you gotta relate to him on some level. Of course, none of us are like that now.
Speak for yourself.
I'm sure I went through like little streaks of this Buddy guy, you know? Like, he is all about sex, tits and ass. It's all he cares about is tits and ass. Yeah, so she's just a normal chick in a school writing an article that totally bombs. I love her relationship with Buddy, though, because
it's almost weird. Some of the shit they talk about is a little weird. Because I have a sister that's 3 years younger than me, and they talk about shit I would have never, ever talked to my sister.
No, they're way too comfortable with each other. I'm the youngest of 5. I have 3 sisters and a brother. I wouldn't be comfortable talking about any of this kind of shit with any of them. It is just fucking strange.
I mean, I made out with my sister, but I never talked to her about that.
What are you, cousin Eddie from Griswold?
Daddy says I'm the best at it.
So, no, I love it because the dynamic of these two, the reason I love it is because you could see that in every scene they have, you see her smiling whenever Buddy's going off and doing this nonsense.
Yeah.
And it shows that she is amused by him. Like, he's just this goofball brother, her. She doesn't take it seriously. She doesn't get offended. She's a cool chick. And that's exactly, I love Terry for that reason.
No, I get it. I'm just speaking from personal experience. That's just not what I lived at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah,
right.
It's cool the way they portray their relationship.
It is. Even if it wouldn't be realistic or anything, it's still cool as a viewing experience.
Right.
Yeah, it's yeah, absolutely. Like I said, like I'm with Chris. Like I never had that, but that's which fine. But like as a viewer, it's almost similar to like the brother sister in 3 O'clock High. Like you would expect them to be like for what like conflicting or anything, but no, they're on the same team. Like they're for each other. So yeah, it's cool.
One of Chris's favorite parts, these two teachers are talking about Terry as they enter the room when she wants to confront him about why her article didn't make it to the Tribune job over the summer. And he says, you see that skirt on Terry? The legs just go on forever. And he goes, I'm going to flunk her and keep her in my class a little longer. And luckily for that other motherfucker, he was like, you better watch your mouth talk. You might lose your job talking like that. Like, he is so lucky that he spoke.
Dude, the guy that says that looks like he's 75.
Yeah.
Right.
And he was probably 45.
Yeah, I think about flunking her just to keep her here an extra year. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
And then the other guy looks like Mel from Sleepaway Camp, like I said before.
He does. They all have that weird old man's face, that like weird rubbery face.
Yeah.
I think I was saying this last time. He's the priest from Phantasm 2, I think.
Yeah, he is.
Looks older, but he's like fucking probably 38.
But again, this makes Terry cool. Yeah, it makes her cool because she heard that and still kind of just blows it off and gets to her article and says, why didn't you do this, pass my article, this and that? And then she only mentions it in passing and saying, why do I get good grades then? Because of my wardrobe? Just kind of showing, yeah, I heard you, asshole. But she's still not making a big deal out of it.
Right, and if that happened now, they'd be in prison.
No questions. Yeah, no questions.
So he goes to her, you need something to fall back. Why don't you fall back on modeling? And then the boyfriend says it too. He goes, well, you should. You have a great body or whatever. Like, the way, and then, that's when she's in the pool in the backyard with him, and he's trying to undo her top and everything. It's like, isn't your brother home? And we're, like, out in the daytime in the backyard? He's going to take her top off?
So I looked this up because when I was watching this, I thought he is so much fucking older than she is. But when this was filmed, he was 30 and she was 26.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, no big deal.
No, but it's weird for a 30-year-old to be dating a high school kid.
Yeah, but he wasn't supposed to be 30 in the movie.
But he is, and that's still weird. Like, they couldn't cast anybody else?
Well, that's also like that generation, though. Everyone, as we've been this whole thing, like everyone just looked older. Like,
yeah.
So he's what, 30 in this?
30, yeah.
I'm 30 right now. Do I look anything like this guy? Absolutely not.
He looks like he could be your dad.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right, son. Don't start dressing like a girl or anything. Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, I guess she's 26. It's the old thing. Everybody did that back in the 80s. Ralph Macchio was like 26 when he was playing Karate Kid.
When they did high school movies back then, they didn't cast real high school age people.
Look at Grease.
Or Breakfast Club. Now, 16 Candles, they did have, like, Anthony Michael Hall was only like 15 or something like that. But
yeah.
No, Grease is one of the worst offenders of all time.
Ever. Right.
They were like Stockard Channing, who played Rizzo in that movie. She was like 34 or 35 playing a high school.
What about that short guy with the the curly hair. He was like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Like that weird guy. Remember him? When the principal kept yelling at him, he goes, no, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes,
oh,
ma'am.
yeah. Or what about the main bad guy who's got that pock face? He looks like he's 48. He looks like my age right now, dude. And he's supposed to be a high schooler.
Oh, I'm going to love covering Grease. That's going to be great.
Oof.
I can't wait.
I'm going to love that one. Yeah, so back to just one of the guys. We find out that, since the parents are away, Buddy, in this time, decides to plaster his bedroom walls with tits and ass from Playboy. That's something I can see the Ghoul doing.
Believe it or not.
You do have this.
No, I don't. I have movie posters because that's like I said. I don't know. This is gonna yeah. So
Alex, you have no room to talk. You have J-Lo pillowcases.
I went to private Catholic school from kindergarten until senior year of high school.
Oh, you must have been sexually frustrated.
Yeah, not necessarily, but I definitely wasn't I was never open about stuff. I was like, keep it to yourself. Don't.
So you wouldn't plaster your walls with what you want to get off on.
Never.
Right.
I mean, unless you count the Terminator 1 and 2 posters that I have hanging in my room.
Because I get off on it.
When I was that age, I had the posters on my wall was like Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkins, and then all these rap artists like Run DMC and LL Cool J. And my fucking dad, he's not listening, so I don't care. He walked in my bedroom one day and he looked around. He goes, "Can't you have any white people on your walls?" That's verbatim. That's what he said.
So Terry says there's never anything she wanted to do more than be a reporter. She's way into this, but she's so cool and easygoing. She walks into Buddy's room. She's like, your room is why my life is totally screwed up. So all you guys care about is our tits and ass and sex. And he goes, no, I love these women for who they are. And he's like, this girl's against pollution, and this one, doesn't want to club baby seals or whatever. It's all this weird, things they write in their, interview for the...
And that was a real thing in Playboy centerfolds. It was name, date of birth, interests, all that stuff. And the interest would be photography, blah, blah, all this stupid shit.
And I'm against toxic waste.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, because we're all for that. So, again, she laughs while this guy's describing everything. Either the actress got a kick out of this guy, or, it's portrayed that she really thinks her brother's funny. She goes, just because she's cute, she's not taken seriously. And she wishes she could just be a guy and not judged by her sexuality and her looks. So she goes and puts a weird hat on and tucks her hair under it and then puts boy clothes on and rings the doorbell and tricks her brother for a second. And then they go to this amazing scene. He has to teach her how to be a guy in the bedroom. He's like, all right, spread your legs. Guys take up space.
All balls itch. It's a fact.
Yeah, it's a fact. I like how he's mad, but he's not mad. It's just so funny. And then he does this one weird thing
he goes, say, baby, what's happening? I'm a lean, mean sex machine, and that be the way it is. Yeah, who says that except James Brown?
Whoever said that? Yeah, Rick Morehouse would have thought he was really cool, but nobody else says that. So she finds a way to transfer to Sturgis Wilder, which is another high school on the other side of town, I guess. And she goes there as Terry Griffith, but nobody knows. She has the perfect name. She doesn't have to really lie about anything. They would think she could be either one.
She got the androgynous name, yeah.
Just like Alex.
I mean, technically all three of us.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
Patricia,
Wow.
Pat, Chris, Christina.
Yeah. My mom's name is Pat. But her name is not the Ghoul.
I was going to say, you should start calling her Ghoul.
Yeah, I'm going to start calling her Ghoul, too. So she transfers there as a dude. Now, how do you guys feel? let's just the whole movie though. Do you think she pulls off being the boy thing in this movie? I think she does excellent.
Okay, so it's probably just because when you're watching this movie, you know she's not a guy, so you already have a preconceived notion that she's a girl. So when I watch this, I'm like, nobody would buy her as a guy. But if I'm looking at this with what's the word I'm looking for?
Objective?
Thank you. Objective eye. I could see it with the hairdo, the way she's dressed, the way she talks in the Hollywood universe. Yes, she does look like a guy.
Yeah. Well, I think she does pull it off, especially since it's funny when in one of my notes there is like when she first does the transformation, she's got the haircut and everything. I noted, I was like, whoa, she's Ralph Macchio. And then when she's in the cafeteria, one of the girls says, like, she looks like the kid from Karate Kid. Yeah, I was like, oh, awesome.
I never thought about before, ever, as many times as I've seen this movie. But on this watch, when they said that, I thought, holy shit, she does kind of look like Ralph Macchio.
And the voice she uses kind of is like Russo's voice in that, which I thought was, and plus also the William Zabka thing of it. I'm sure that's the only reason why that line was written.
But the funny thing is, when this movie was filmed, the Karate Kid had either not come out or had literally just come out.
84,
so
85.
That was no factor in this movie at all.
So there's a chance that Karate Kid was probably being filmed at the same time as this movie then.
Right, because Karate Kid came out, I think, in the summer of 84, and this movie came out in the spring of 85, so it was probably being filmed when the Karate Kid was released.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's because I always thought, why would William Zabka like take this like step down role almost, because he was such a major player in the Karate Kid. Right. But you know, when they filmed Karate Kid and it hadn't come out, it was like no one knew it was going to be a hit. So he was like, okay, this is just another movie.
Right. Yeah. Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah.
And what's odd, the funny you even say that, is that William Zabka didn't have any room to talk even after Karate Kid. Like, they didn't even want him in part 2. Except for this one bit part, and then
which is an extension of part 1. We'll get it. Yeah,
just the scene was an extension, and then he really didn't blow up from Karate Kid, but the other dude did, and it's like, but I guess you could see why he was just a bully. I mean, sure, he's iconic, but
there's so many '80s actors like that were great in movies, and then they never went anywhere.
Well, we're looking at them now. Where is Joyce Heisler or whatever her name is, and where is Buddy? Like,
right.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's crazy, like, because I was looking at the IMDb for all these people. It's wild to think that Zabka's the only one who's like still really getting solid, like notable work today.
And he was irrelevant for 30 years until Cobra Kai came out.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a little bit part in that show, How I Met Your Mother, which I never watched, but I read about it online. He had like a cameo in it as himself.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah.
It's kind of like got him back in the public eye, but still, as far as movies go, he didn't do shit after the 80s.
Yeah, I've never seen, like, especially like the one who plays Terry. She, I feel like, should have been way bigger, especially in the 80s.
Yep. Yeah, she was in This Is Spinal Tap 84, Hollywood Nights 80, and then the TV series Flash for 3 episodes.
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Buddy, who was great.
I feel bad for him because he is like a discount Corey Haim, but has way more like enthusiasm.
Right, I love him.
Yeah, he is in a slasher from 1981 called Bloody Birthday. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. I've seen it several times.
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
It's pretty good. And then
he's in Cujo.
He's in Cujo.
Is he really?
At the very beginning, yes. He's Cujo's original owner until Cujo goes rogue. And then he's also in an anthology horror movie from 1983 called Nightmares, where he's in one chapter of the 4 stories. But after this movie, nope.
He's in The Burbs as additional crew, whatever that means.
Oh,
so really? I've seen that movie 1,000 times.
I love The Burbs. No, so he just became. So what did he become instead of actor? He became like a
thespian. No, he was a thespian. I think he was also like a theater actor.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Well, so if he's additional crew on The Burbs, that means he's just like behind the scenes player. He's probably like
so he was whatever. Like the assistant lighting director.
Yeah, so shit like that. Yeah.
Cheryl Fenn, that girl Sandy.
Oh, she's Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks, yeah. Wild at Heart in 1990 and Boxing Helena in 93, which I heard of.
I remember that
Mice and Men.
VHS cover.
Yeah, oh, the two chicks laying there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, these are a bunch of people who, again, I cannot believe I can't go and find a bunch of other movies with these people. It's a shame. But William Zabka suffered the same thing. It's really a weird thing. You would think they're locked in, but no. So, yeah, his name is Greg Tolan in this movie. He does, like we said, the shoulder lifts with the freshmen. He has that one friend who looks like he's 30 years old. That one guy, the bigger guy, the thicker guy. Not the one who's kind of flamboyant. The one who, like, pisses in the bathroom with Terry. Remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Terry's like, hey, just finished. And he's like I care.
He goes, I care.
Yeah.
Yeah, just finishing up. Like, you're trying to convince him you just got done pissing because you're not going to.
And that scene when Johnny Lawrence picks up Terry and throws her into the thorn bushes, then when him and his friends walk away, they like have their arms around each other and shit, or one of them's got his arm around his shoulders, like they're like cuddling almost. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, just weird. Like,
Yeah, it's just like, but Zabka just nails it, which I'm just like, this, again, where was his career going after this?
I
What
don't
the
know.
fuck? You could have done this role 1,000 times and it still would have been awesome.
yeah, I would have watched every one of them. He throws him in the pricker bush. Like, wow, that hurt. But Terry hardly even reacts to that fact. So she meets Rick Morehouse, who's a total fucking lame-ass dude. He is the worst dresser I've ever seen in my life. Like we said, we go to the bathroom scene. She goes to the urinal for whatever reason. She has no penis. I don't know what she's doing there. I don't know why she just didn't go right to the fucking stall, but okay. And then she, like, tries to be a guy, so she punches the soap dispenser and, like, cocksucker, motherfucker, like, punching it as if that's what guys do. It's like, no, we don't really ever do that. But okay. So Greg harasses, like I said, everybody at lunch, pressing tables, spilling lunches. He just hates everybody but his two friends. It's weird. It's like he's not even. But he was elected like prom king. Like, who voted for him? Like, just your friends? What, 6 people? Like, you hate everybody who's not in the elite group. Who the fuck would have voted for you? Right? You got to be popular. You just can't bully everybody around and still be a prom.
And it's like he knew it was coming because he goes, yeah.
Yeah, and he was like fixing his like
his cufflinks and shit. Yeah.
Well, it's like, that's the trope back then. It's like, obviously, because like his like leeway into that is his girlfriend, who's obviously supposed to be the prettiest girl in school. So she's going to get prom queen. So obviously, whoever she's dating at the time is going to get prom king.
Right.
So.
Yeah, so Terry has to avoid changing in front of the boys in the locker room. So this is weird because she goes through a lot to do this. She sets a fire, the sprinklers go off, then she changes while it's pouring on her while everybody else runs away. How about that, though? She tries to even get out of doing gym, but the teacher says, no, everyone dresses for phys ed, and somehow has a pile of clothes readily available and sneakers on his desk. Like, why were those there?
Completely ready to throw at her, the whole outfit.
Yeah, how many people in the middle of the school year show up without clothes?
Right.
That you would even have to do this.
Yeah, this just keeps adding to, like, the gym teacher trope of the 80s. What the fuck was going on? Like, I mean, I know, Chris, you were in high school around then, or closer to that. Were your gym teachers, like, so adamant about you guys, like, getting dressed, like, because, like I said, going to an all-boy high school, even my gym teacher, who was a fucking weirdo, wasn't, like, pressing about us, like, making sure we were dressing with each other.
No, I didn't have that, but when I was in 7th grade, it was mandatory. We had to take a shower after gym class.
That is
you
couldn't weird.
You couldn't opt out of it. You had to take a shower. It was a huge group shower, and there were guys that would stand in the corner covering their dick with their hands.
I have never showered with another man in my life.
Well,
ever.
I have multiple times when I was 12 and 13.
Dude.
And it was hot.
Well, because then we need this like the
It was like Nightmare 2 hot.
oh my god. Well, that and then like the shirts versus skins bit. He's so adamant about it. It's like, what was the fucking deal? Were gym teachers really gym teachers are just predators in every 80s and 90s movie? Like,
well, that's really not a big deal to say shirt, skin, shirt, like, because in reality we're all boys, so nobody would care.
Right? Yeah, no. But it's just like his persistence of it is just like again, same thing as Nightmare 2. Him being like so adamant about it, it has a dark undertone, I guess.
They go through this whole thing with her, the fire and everything. You are human gutter balls. You are zeros and all that stuff. Then shirts, skins. Now we're right back to square one. Now I just have to get out of gym again. You could have done the stomach thing when he said you have to change for gym class. I would have went, like right there. So you went through all this just to get to this point, and now you have to get out of it again. So that was all for nothing, the fire thing and everything else like that. Just a waste. So we get Ted from Friday the 13th Part 2, who's endlessly with creatures. So he's the guy who survived Friday the 13th Part 2. He's the one weird thing that a main cast member who actually survived Jason Voorhees, for those of you guys who are just listening to 80s reviews right now and not into the horror movies. He has a very notable role in that way.
Yes, boss.
He is both. Yeah, I'm surprised you don't steal that one, Chris.
No, my favorite line from Friday the 13th too is when he goes, "Are there any after hours places around here?" And the guy goes, "Sure are." And he goes, "Sure are."
You don't go, "Oh wow, so where?"
Nope, sure are.
When I leave here, do I make a left or a right? So the new editor at the school, or the teacher, whatever they are, he tells her that her article sucks. She writes with no heart, and now she's back to square one again. She could figuratively just go back to her school now. If he's willing to take submissions later, why isn't the other guy willing to? Couldn't she go back to him and go, "Hey, can I write another article and then submit it to you?" And he could say yes or no. Then she could see if she's going to continue faking who she is to get this done. But no, she just stays here, decides to keep being a guy, and continue on for like a week or whatever.
So at this point, she's already trying to hide it from her boyfriend, which I find weird. I'm like, why not just tell him what you're doing? Yeah, because she's only doing it for a week.
Well, she thought she was doing it for 3 days.
Right, yeah.
And now it's become, you have a week to do, girls do a week from Monday.
Right. Yeah, so that's again, miscommunication in this movie is the reason why so many things fall apart.
Right. So yeah, she gives advice to. Oh yeah, okay. We always love to talk about this. Is Deborah Toland or whatever her name is, Deborah?
Yeah, they're not married.
I know. Why did I say that? Deborah Strawsbury or whatever her name is. Is she the hottest girl you guys have ever seen?
Come on, are you kidding?
Why do they pick girls who aren't really that hot as the hot girl of the school? It's always not right. It's
funny because I don't think I chimed in on this, but when you were talking about the Teen Wolf bit a couple shows ago, I'm Team Boof, 100%.
Yep, same.
Yeah,
yep.
And the same thing for this. It's almost like they do it on purpose, but they're trying to make it seem like, oh, she's the hottest girl ever, but the one who's the girl best friend is actually really the one who's more attractive.
No, back in the 80s, it was they had a blonde and a brunette. The blonde was supposed to be the hot one.
Right.
End of story. And I was always the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Right. I'm always for the brunettes. Now, if you put the same hot brunette in blonde hair, I might still like her. But usually I'm into the brunette.
Yep, same here.
Yeah. So they do it again. This girl, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be mean. She seems like a very nice person. I don't find her all that attractive at all.
No, she's okay, but that's okay. It. Yeah.
Yeah, well, good luck securing an interview with the actress, Alex.
She was listening to this review. She's like, I like these guys' vibe. I'm gonna.
When are we gonna get interviews on this show like we did with Robert Russler?
Yeah, right. So when they say Terry, when they say Terry looks like the Karate Kid, I should have said, yeah, why don't you ask Greg Toland if she does? Or if he does. So that's funny. So she goes to Rick's house. He goes, so what are you doing? She goes, I was thinking of tuning up my car or playing a little football. Like, guys don't do all this stuff. Stop. I'm going to tune up my car? No, I just drove home and went in the house and watched TV. I didn't play a little football or tune up my car.
Right.
She goes, yeah, I'll take a brewski. She keeps trying to do things guys would do. It's like, no, what are you doing? It's so funny. So she hangs out with this guy talking about the prom Passion to Paradise, that they're renting out a surf place and all that. Rick's room is disturbing. You think I'm weird with J-Lo. At least it's a girl.
Yeah, but what about when she's asking Rick about if he's ever had sex or something? He goes, yeah, after my dad died, one of my mom's friends wanted to cheer me up.
Right. She did.
I mean, pedophilia? I mean, he's a high schooler.
Right, your mom's friends.
Yeah, exactly. It was fine back then, I guess.
Is your mom's friend 14 years old?
Jesus Christ.
Like, that would be weird. And then, yeah, I don't know. Nothing's okay with this. But like I said, so his room is disturbing. If you think I'm messed up with J-Lo, at least that's a chick. This guy has James Brown from ceiling to floor all over the room. He says, I have to dance when I hear him.
My note literally says, they go into Rick's room, and it's basically a shrine to one of Alex's favorite human beings of all time, James Brown.
Yeah, the most abusive piece of shit who ever lived is who we're going to idolize in this movie. He made women's lives hell. All of them. Almost all the ones he came in. You ever hear that interview with him where people are talking to him about his abuse, and he just keeps, like, talking about other stuff?
No,
you ever hear that famous?
No.
Oh, I'll send it to you. It's really weird.
Yeah, but Rick says when he hears James Brown's voice, he just has to dance, man.
Yeah, there's nothing weird about that. The only thing weirder is the way Buddy talks to his mother on the phone. Hey, scumbag, bite me, all that.
Oh, my God.
Like, they're away for 2 weeks. And then later on he goes, yeah, Terry joined a cult. Yeah, she's a transvestite now. Yep. Oh, yeah. Blah, 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 blah. And all this other stuff.
Just waiting for the hair to grow on her chest. She's taking hormones now.
Yeah, taking hormones. And he goes, she thought I was kidding. So, yeah, Buddy cracks everybody up. The mom probably just laughed and go, okay, Buddy, I'll talk to you later. Tell me when Terry's home. And this, whatever. So, another funny part, like how Terry always tries to do things that guys do. She's like, she hangs up with Rick. She goes, okay, I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Scumbag.
It's like solidifying. I should say, watching it through a 2024 lens is tough, just because you can see through all this shit. But granted, I wasn't there. Putting myself into that time, she does do a convincing job of being, quote, just one of the guys.
You would think nothing of it if you and Chris were talking about next week's show, and he went, all right, bye-bye, scumbag. You'd be like, okay, see you later.
Me and Chris were talking like a couple weeks ago, and he literally sent me a text. We were talking about hip-hop, and he was like, you were just swimming in your daddy's nuts when this came out. And he sent me a song, and I was like, yep. So that's basically the equivalent to it. Bye-bye,
scumbag, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to do it to somebody. I want to hang up the phone that way one day. So this guy's trying to hit on girls. He tries to get a girl to prom. He tells a girl who's wearing sunglasses in class that her eyes are beautiful. Sandy sets up a double date with Terry, Rick,
and a 9-year-old.
A 9-year-old, talking about 6th grade.
Yeah,
no, she's 11.
They say 6th grade, so that means 11 or 12, depending on when your birthday is.
Right. So, yeah, that's weird. He's with a 12-year-old.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And then he says, let's go. These two need to be alone. And he goes off with the girl in the cave.
What's funny is that girl was probably like 23 or something when they filmed this.
Did you guys ever stuff a sock down your crotch to make your penis appear larger?
Yeah, every night right before I beat off.
Only when I record with you guys.
Stand up. Let me see that thing. Oh, it is big. Wow. Look at you. It's working. All right, sit down. Oh, God. This guy's pulling it out. Please don't do that. Oh, God. I didn't want to see the hair on your stomach, dude. That was creepy. I just saw way too much of Chris than I ever thought I would.
I turned away.
The Ghoul turned away. He couldn't do it. And he's seen the most horrific movies ever made. So Linda's on her way over for a study date, and this guy's like, I want a girl with a smooth touch. And he's like in a bathrobe and boxers. Dude, anything this guy does.
The Hugh Hefner costume or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything Buddy does is great. Now, is he the kind of character that would normally, you would say, is a really annoying, but for some reason, nothing about him is annoying?
I agree 100%. Every scene he is in, he fucking nails. Like I texted you yesterday or the day before, they should have made a spin-off movie with that character just based on him, because every scene he's in, he steals it.
Everyone.
Yeah, like he's like used in an if this was a John Hughes movie, he's got 2, maybe 3 scenes where he's just that and he's nothing more. He's got like a whole like B plot to this movie.
Yeah,
because like his whole thing has an arc too. It's awesome because like he's again like just selling all this shit. He's fucking quotable as hell. He's just ridiculous, but you don't get tired of him. Honestly, I think for a reason, I think him being so prevalent in the movie works to his benefit. But if you had him only in a couple of scenes, you'd be like, all right, we get it. He's the horny younger brother. Like, you get tired of it. But I think him having an actual overall arc makes it more bearable, which is not bearable. I shouldn't say it's unbearable, but like
it's great. It's just more enjoyable.
Yeah, he's just the second lead in this movie, really.
Oh yeah, he's almost in this movie as much as the what's her name is, Joyce or whatever her actress name is.
Yeah,
Terry. Yeah,
Terry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's in it more than the boyfriend. Thank God, Mr. Wonderful. I wonder if they named him Mr. Wonderful because he looks like Paul Orndorff.
Paul Orndorff,
right? Doesn't he kind of?
Yeah, he actually does, now that you say that.
Yeah. Yeah, so Buddy's wearing an ascot during this date of the girl he's teaching math to. So Buddy does this thing that I've been doing for 20 years. When he strikes out with this girl, he goes, sorry, Spike.
Is that what you call your dick, Spike?
For 20 years, dude. Greg dumps spaghetti. So this dork, Rick Morehouse, he gets a makeover and he dresses. Now he's like a completely different character just because he's...
All they did was brush his hair back and put different clothes on him. And now he's some fucking
looks like it looks like he should have been like an extra in The Outsiders or some shit.
Yeah. He has tons of charisma, tons of confidence now. Like, dude, you're still a dork. You just have a nice jacket, but now it has spaghetti all over it, so you're still a dork. And then after he dumps it on him, he goes, oh, sorry, man. He goes, you didn't slug that creep? Because he said sorry.
so forgiving.
So Buddy comes to the lunchroom, and then we get this whole... What do you guys think about the Greg Tolan versus Rick Morehouse scene in the lunchroom?
I would say a semi-anticlimactic, because you're almost expecting a fight, but all that happens is that he just insults him a whole bunch, and not even really good insults. He just basically, he just tells him what it is. Like, he just calls him, like, he's a fucking loser.
He says he has a small penis.
Yeah, like, just calls him out. He's like, oh, like...
Were you a messy baby?
Yeah. Rick totally turns the tables on him. See what I did there?
Wow.
Yeah, like, I was...
Makes him look like a clown. Just, he's hopping up on the tables, jumping around and shit. It's like, okay,
Yeah, it's like, it's just... It doesn't seem like he would just... If it was Johnny Lawrence would have beat the fucking bag out of this kid in that cafeteria and would have gotten away with it too, probably.
Yeah, he just stared him down.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, his girlfriend leaves him at that moment.
They make Johnny Lawrence's character in this movie out to be some big buff fucking badass, and he just looks like some normal guy with weightlifting gloves on, with an attitude.
So we established that he had already filmed Karate Kid before this, right? Which is crazy because he looks more physically imposing in Karate Kid than he does in this.
Well, maybe he stopped working out after that movie.
Yeah, maybe.
It's just the way they show him in this movie. It's like he's got an attitude. He's got the gloves on, but other than that, they're always talking about how physical he is and how much he works out and stuff. It's like he doesn't look like, quote unquote, that guy to me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Right. To say he pushes his muscles to the limits.
Exactly. Right.
Just to lift tables. But it was a great scene. I still love it. I really do. And
no, it's a good scene. Yeah. Yeah.
The way they sell the no confrontation is she goes, it was a joke. People laughed. Let it go. You know, and like, it's almost as if Greg shouldn't have done anything. That's how they kind of portray it. And even he knows that. And she knows that. So what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then she's like, I'm really tired of seeing you push people around. He goes, it's getting real boring. He goes, yeah, it's about to get real exciting. And right there, she left him.
Right.
And then Rick Morehouse cuckolds him and asks his girl to the prom. And she says yes.
Yeah, the girl with tits like a sparrow.
Yeah. That's how 80s works. Well, one thing I wanted to mention too is like in a lot of these scenes, the background character that is the janitor in a lot of these scenes.
Did you see him in the gym room when he was running around with the mop?
Dude, so
no, I did not even pay attention to that.
His reaction. So this is why. So as a janitor myself, this is why I refuse to work at a fucking high school or even a middle school, because those motherfuckers will make a mess regardless of what it will impact. They don't give a fuck. So his reaction to this, I 100% agree with. If I was him, I'd be fucking snapping my goddamn mop stick over motherfucker.
Oh, after he dumps all the
all the stuff.
You're talking. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just like, what the fuck? And I'm just like,
he's exasperated.
Most relatable character in that movie to me.
Well, yeah, Rick Morehouse tells everyone to lift every table.
Right.
Yeah.
And dump all the food.
I feel that man's pain. It sucks.
What do you guys feel about this school, this high school, to make it feel lived in, having those Star Trek characters, having Deborah and her friends, Greg and his friends, the guy with the creatures, the shower scene, all that stuff, that taking the new kid, and whatever they did with him, and Terry thought they were going to grab her.
They put him in the shower with his clothes on, I think.
Yeah, something like that. Like, how do you guys feel about this high school and how they made it feel?
The quote Star Trek characters, that was fucking hella over the top, dude. I mean, I understand it's a mid-'80s movie, that's fine, but it's like, there's nobody exists out there like that. They're speaking in alien talk the whole movie. That doesn't happen. But it's a movie, so I'm fine with it. No big deal.
Yeah, I was almost expecting like some just like extra reveal, like those two were just somehow like right near the end credits where they are revealed to be actual aliens and they just weren't bullshitting the entire.
Yeah, they like pulled their mask off of their.
Just because that's how those movies were back then.
Yeah.
But no, it didn't bother me. I mean, granted, this was 100% not the high school experience I had, but
I love it though. I like what's it called?
Yeah, it feels lived in. It feels like I could insert myself into that environment. I could see feels like.
I like how Buddy shows up just to hit on girls during that lunch scene, and the way he's blowing in that girl's ear.
Were you guys? I mean, I know you guys have watched this more than I have, but I was so waiting for him to like actually be the one to step up during that cafeteria scene,
right?
Because he's like there, and I'm like, oh, is this gonna be Buddy's?
Oh,
like,
that would have been good. I never even thought about that before.
Yeah, I was like, oh, is he just gonna fucking smoke Zabka right here, and just like somehow that's gonna be like his way to like get himself laid? They're like, oh,
right, yeah, all the girls want to sleep with him now.
Yeah, like that's what I was kind of hoping for that, but
what's weird is Zabka dumps the food off the table onto Buddy. Because remember, he's at the end of the table hitting on the girl, and when it dumps, it goes on him, and he gets up, and he's like real pissed off and looking at Zabka.
Yeah.
But nothing comes of it, yeah. That's weird. But he does step up at the end of the movie, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
So Terry asks her friend Denise, what do you guys think of Denise? She's turning down Buddy like she got options. Meanwhile, it's proven through the whole movie she has no options.
I don't mean to sound like an asshole here. She's gross.
Yeah. You don't want a friend like Terry when you look like that.
No.
Like, you're just always going to be the beta, and that's the worst. Who's hotter, her or the Beetlejuice girl from 3 O'Clock High?
Beetlejuice girl.
Yeah? What about you, Ghoul?
I think she is.
I'll take a gross brunette over a gross blonde any day.
Tiebreaker. I might have to go with Denise. I think Beetlejuice is fucking gross. I have to go with Denise. Sorry. She's gross. I don't like her.
That's fine. I'll forgive that. Yeah, I got you.
So Terry got all done up for this date with Mr. Wonderful, and then Sandy randomly shows up with goldfish or kissing fish to their house. Like, dude, what is going on here? And then she's like rubbing the makeup off, and then Kevin's pissed off because he showed up, and they're not going to go to the Giovanni's or whatever, this fancy place that Chris probably goes to every Wednesday.
Fuck you. She gets all of her makeup off, changes her clothes, gets all the shit out of her hair in the span of like 60
walking up
seconds.
the stairs.
It's ridiculous.
He's pissed off. He's like, what happened to the girl I used to date? She was hot. She's like, she's talking about this article. It's due Monday. Did you pick up how I've been saying that? How she says Monday? She says Monday. She goes, my article's due Monday. I have to get this done.
Oh, no, I didn't notice that. Monday?
I always say that because of her. I say Monday.
Oh, wow.
As a joke. So, I don't know. That always sticks out to me how she says that.
That's like an old person thing. I always hear them calling it like, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Like,
my article's due Monday. So, Buddy is down and out because he hasn't had sex in the 2 weeks his parents weren't here. He wants to order a woman for $200 from like a massage thing that I guess gives happy endings. Then she says, why don't you call the guys and go to the mall? Did you find it weird that alludes to that he has friends? But in none of the 2 week span did he once have anybody over the house.
Yeah, I actually didn't think about that, but they make no allusion at any point to him having friends.
Yeah, he doesn't have like a buddy or like a crew that like
just one guy. Nothing.
Yeah, it's just him. Like makes you kind of think like he's just like kind of like a giant loser.
Yeah, but then she says, call the guys and go. And he's so hell-bent on sex that he will not waste time in those 2 weeks hanging out with his loser friends. He just wants to focus on putting his dick somewhere.
Yeah, like this movie legitimately the plot of this movie has as much to do with Buddy getting laid as it does with Terry trying to get her article published. Like, for real, it really does.
No, you're absolutely right, yeah.
And it's great. He's 15 years old. He's supposed to be an example of what every young teenager is going through when the puberty kicks in, when the hormones kick in, when you've never had sex yet, all this kind of stuff. That's the reality of life. People do have playboys. People do have fucking pinup girls on their walls. People are obsessed with having sex at that age. That's the only reason people do anything. That's the only reason they go to clubs or go out or do anything, because they hope to hook up with a chick.
Right.
His sister knows this. Look how she reacts. She knows that he's just a pubescent teenager.
Well, the thing is, like, it's funny too because he's not even comedic as these movies are. Revenge of the Nerds does it in a way more like, because they're kind of like Buddy is like almost like he's almost like in love. He falls in love like 17 times a day. Every single girl he sees, he's like ready to make his wife, basically. Right. So his is coming from kind of a more like heartfelt kind of
innocence.
Place. Like in innocence, like he's like a dog basically, but like he's just
he's like a dog that's not neutered.
Right. Yeah.
And his portrayal is so fun-loving and so...
Well, it's just innocent. I mean, it's just what you are as a teenager.
Yeah, he's not, like, rapey either. It's not like...
Yeah, the girls reject him, and he says, okay.
Yeah, like, he even gives to Denise, he tries to give her the rose.
Drops it.
Yeah, it's just like he's not like trying to be like, oh, well, like I'll pay you this amount of money if you want to like do this with me. Like he's giving it an honest try.
And the math girl, he says, please, please, please. She goes, no, I think we have different ideas of fun. And then he goes, what if I told you I was hung like a horse? Would that make a difference? And she's like,
She goes, oh, maybe.
And he goes, are you? He goes, nah, just wondering or whatever. So even then, he doesn't do anything that he's not permitted to do.
Right. I do love that bit with that girl with the math thing. He's like, oh, she's like, oh, I think you're a nice guy. He's like, nice guy. That's the kiss of death.
Yeah, and then when he tries to hook up with the chick with the fish, because she already has her top off, and even the sister goes, there's a girl upstairs half naked, and she's dying to, have sex or whatever. He goes, what if you're lying? She goes, what if I'm not? He goes, good point. And then he goes up there. Like, it's just real life, guys. Like,
yep.
Sort of, I mean, yeah.
No, it is. If I was in that same position as he was, you could have said anything to me. If there was a sliver of a hope that some chick was upstairs that was going to hook up with me, I'd have done anything to be up there.
So now we get to the prom. It's at that surf. They bought a beach property they rented it, whatever. They put a stage up there. They have a live band. And, like, these guys in this band. Now, if you want to get to inappropriate again, we could talk about this fucking guy in the band who's trying to hook up with a high schooler.
Yeah.
Like, he is definitely 30.
At least.
And could he look any cornier with the hair and the clothes and the way he's singing?
What was I say? Like that band, those weren't
that's
any.
That's just how it was in the 80s, dude. That's how they looked.
Yeah, weird, though. Who goes to a high school prom and hooks up with a girl in the audience?
A baller.
So, what do you guys feel that when Buddy agrees to show Kevin where Terry is?
This whole ending of this movie gets avoided if Buddy just tells the boyfriend, like, what's been going on. Or even if Terry had just told him, like, hey, I'm going to go, like, quote, undercover at a school for a week as a boy just to prove my point to this other, to my school that, like, I could have wrote whatever, but they only picked it because I was a guy.
Right.
If Buddy had just played, because he's so cooperative up until this point, but I mean, it has to be because it's the catalyst for the big reveal and all that. So it's just like that 80s trope of like, people didn't communicate well enough. So that's why whatever happens, happens.
Yeah. He totally sells out his sister, which is really weird because they're like buds.
Right.
Is it really a brotherly thing to do? Is he still betraying her trust? Sure.
Well, yeah, I get, yeah, to a degree too, plus him doing that, considering where the ending goes, he was doing her a favor, really.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. So anyway, Deb doesn't dance with William Zabka, even though they're prom king and queen.
Dude, the way he's dancing next to the way he's grilling. Fucking the other dude. He's just like,
kick the shit out of you. Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
Yeah. So then he puts his gloves on again, his workout gloves, and socks the shit out of Rick. A cheap shot. Terry jumps on him like 3 o'clock high. The nerd.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Who helps out this guy. Buddy shows up in a fake prom suit, like the t-shirt.
He's got you expect that from a guy like him.
Right. So how do you guys feel about the brawl at the beach?
Terry jumps on Greg's back, and Greg throws her into the ocean. Come out of the water, and Rick walks over and says, okay, tough guy, you want a piece of me now? My back's not turned the other way. Greg swings and misses, and Rick starts working the body like a pro boxer. Boom! Boom! Left and right to the body.
All because he has nice clothes on now.
Then he rattles off 5 straight jabs, and all Johnny Lawrence is doing is just eating them. And then he fucking knocks him out, dude.
And he throws him onto a table with a punch bowl.
Once again, Once again, in a movie we review, people hate produce. Fruit table or vegetable table, it gets leveled in some movie that we review.
I was honestly kind of hoping that the actual boyfriend would step in and just fucking smoke both Zabka and the other guy.
Oh,
yeah.
I never even thought about that.
Yeah, you just saw your girlfriend get thrown into a fucking ocean, and you're not gonna come smoke both the fucking guys who are kind of responsible for it?
Right.
Yeah, I was expecting something from him. But then also, like, towards that, too, he, right before the big reveal, he sees that other girl who comes up to him, and then he's like, I suppose you're with a date? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, haha, he's already fucking over it.
Yeah.
Right. Really weird.
Yeah.
So she tells Rick she's a girl. He doesn't believe her, so she shows him her tits. And he goes, where do you get off having tits?
So, stop. That scene, I can't even put a number on how many times I paused my VHS tape on that scene when I was like 14, 15. And you know where I'm going with this. I'm not going to say it. But I did that to this scene.
Wow.
Multiple times.
Jesus, do you get a boner every time it comes back up when you rewatch it?
No, because I'm old.
He's like, I need a hymns before I do something like that.
Need the blue chew.
Oh, yeah. Blue chew. So Rick's like, so this whole thing was bullshit. Like, what whole thing, Rick? Me coming to school for a week and being friends with you and pretending I'm a guy? What whole thing? Did you thought you found a best friend or something and I totally lied to you? It's weird. Like, I guess he has some kind of justification to be pissed, but then Terry goes and confronts Buddy, asking him why he brought Kevin to the prom, which is a legit thing that you want to get to. Like, why would you have done that? But then he's already having sex with Sandy in bed, and it kind of gets blown off. And so it's Buddy's big victory.
Right.
It's like, yeah, that's all interesting, but could you turn the lights off? Like,
Right. Now, he kind of has a hot piece of ass for his first chick ever. And she's like a senior in high school.
I was going to say, yeah, and she's like several years older than he is, yeah.
Right. Like, wow, what a conquest. So she writes a paper about her experience posing as a guy now, and she wins the job at the Tribune. So Rick read the article where she I guess, said nice things about him. Even that creepy teacher's like, what about Rick?
I was gonna say Mel called her back into his office and said, I loved your article. It's such a creepy fuck.
I loved your article. What about Rick? How'd it go with him?
he's more interested in Rick than he is her.
Yeah. Are you gonna bang him? No, he doesn't talk to me anymore. Oh, that's too bad. You seem like you really liked him.
How could you tell? I read the article.
I read the article.
Yeah, so good.
Witty. You're a witty guy. That's why you're the writing teacher. So, Rick, okay, so we have to talk about this. Is it gay if you decide to date a girl that you were introduced to as a boy and hung out with for like 2 weeks as a guy? Would it be weird if you start making out with him just because you know it's actually a girl?
You're phrasing that in such a dangerous way.
I mean, I guess if you found out that it was a girl, then it wouldn't be weird.
Well, the way Alex phrased it, he's leading us into deception here. He's trying to frame us.
Don't worry, everybody. He has tits. Oh my god!
This shit does get wacky towards the end. Holy fuck!
So, Alex, when that biker chick pulled up on the motorcycle at the end, did you get a boner instantly?
No. I don't like 80s biker girls.
Oh, I thought you were into any biker girls.
No, he only likes 2010's biker boys.
Sons of Anarchy? Yeah, I like 2010 blonde guys whose hair I want to stroke. That's it. Not these nasty girls from the 80s, man.
Not a crow eater.
Yeah, I'm a crow eater. That's it. Bobby, Tig, all those types of people. Juice, that's what I like. So Rick starts going out with her. What about Deborah? Is that just over with?
Obviously.
Yeah, he just stopped with that.
Yeah.
Who he wanted so much. Yeah, so he's going to date a girl that he met as a guy. And just act like everything's fine.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hot.
Would you be nervous the first time you put your hand down her pants if something else might be there?
No, I'd have been disappointed.
I would have fucked with him and just put a sock down there. Oh, God. Yeah. So, yeah. That's just one of the guys. All right, how many cafeteria tables are we lifting and spilling everyone's food out of 5 for just one of the guys, Chris?
So this has been a staple of mine since the early 90s. I love it. It's not, I wouldn't say it's an all-timer, but it's very, very enjoyable. So I will lift 4.5 tables out of 5 for this movie.
Nice. Wow. Just one of the guys getting big ratings already. How many tables are you lifting to spill food in the cafeteria out of 5, Ghoul?
So, like I said, this one I'd only seen scenes from, and now finally watching it a couple times in full. I really fucking enjoy this movie. This is definitely adding to my rotation for, like, everything is awesome about it. I gotta do it. I don't give a fuck. I love this movie. This is a 5 out of 5 for me.
Oh my God.
I really...
Wow.
Nice.
I fucking...
Nice.
This movie is awesome.
That's amazing considering how young you are and how old this movie is. That's awesome.
And that he just saw it.
Yeah.
I love this movie. This is awesome.
See, he could see greatness early, like quickly. That's crazy. Because there are a lot of times that I'll watch something that everybody thinks is great, but I'm watching it 30 years later, and I don't see it sometimes right away.
Same here, like Terminator 2.
Yeah, that just makes no sense. Yeah, this is a staple of mine. I'm so glad. I used to watch this on DVD for years, and finally they released a Blu-ray, and I was so happy.
Oh, so there is a Blu-ray.
Oh, yeah. I don't even know if you could get it, though, because it's like one of those weird... companies like like a Shout Factory type thing that only have it for like a year and then it's gone forever.
So it's probably out of print.
Yeah, you might be able to get it on eBay though for hopefully a decent price.
Yeah, maybe $50.
Hopefully $50 for the DVD at the full frame. Yeah, 5 out of 5. Just one of the guys. Staple. If you haven't seen it, you absolutely must. See you next week.